My name is Grace Walker, and I turned 74 this spring. Mother's Day was supposed to be a peaceful day, a day of warmth, flowers, and love. But life doesn't always give us what we expect. Sometimes it gives us exactly what we need, even if it's wrapped in pain. A morning that promised hope. The sun peeked through my bedroom window as I slowly buttoned my lavender blouse. I had bought it 6 years ago, but never wore it. Today felt right. Mother's Day always did. My daughter Danielle had invited me for breakfast. She hadn't done that in years. I brushed my silver hair and smiled at myself in the mirror. Maybe she's finally softening, I whispered. I packed a small basket of homemade cookies for my grandkids, Lily and Noah. I even bought a tiny jasmine plant for Danielle. She loved jasmine as a child. Or at least, she used to. 2. Danielle's cold welcome. When I arrived at the house, the door was half open. I could hear laughter inside. I stepped in with a hopeful heart. "Danielle?" She turned around. Her smile disappeared the moment she saw me. "Oh, you're early." I thought breakfast was at 9, I said gently. "It is. You're still early." Her tone stung, but I swallowed it. Before I could answer, Noah came running. "Grandma Grace!" He hugged me tight, and for a moment my heart warmed. But Danielle snapped at him. "Noah, don't jump on her. She's old. You'll hurt her." He backed away, confused, and the warmth disappeared. 3. The card I shouldn't have read. Danielle's husband Mark walked in holding a card. He said, "Kids made something for you. Read it aloud." My hands trembled slightly as I opened the card. It was decorated with bright colors and stickers. But inside was a poem written in bold black marker. "Roses are red, violets are blue. You're always a burden. We're tired of you." My vision blurred. No one spoke. They just stared at me, waiting for me to react. "Read it properly, Mom," Danielle said coldly. My throat tightened. My chest burned. But I read it again. This time, Danielle burst out laughing. Mark chuckled. Even Lily giggled, not understanding the cruelty, just following her parents. "It's just a joke, Mom. Don't look so offended," Danielle said, sipping her coffee. A joke. Right. My fingers trembled as I placed the card on the table. Inside, something broke, and something else awakened.
4. The painful truth. Danielle wasn't always like this. There was a time she held my hand crossing the streets, a time she hid behind my skirt when strangers spoke to her, a time she asked me to braid her hair every night so it curled by morning. But after she turned 16, everything changed. She blamed me for her father leaving, blamed me for the small house, for the simple life, for everything she didn't have. I'd tried for years to mend us, but sometimes love isn't enough when the other person refuses to see it. 5. The breakfast table of humiliation. We sat down for breakfast. Their conversations ignored me completely. At one point, Danielle said loudly, "Mom, don't spill anything on my tablecloth. It's expensive." I hadn't even touched my cup yet. "Do you want some eggs, Grandma?" Lily asked sweetly. Danielle snapped, "She shouldn't eat too much. Her sugar will spike." I hadn't had diabetes in 10 years. Every word they spoke was a cut, a small, deliberate cut. The humiliation didn't come all at once. It came slowly, gently, expertly, until I wasn't sure if I was breathing or simply existing. 6. A visitor who changed everything. Just when I was about to stand and leave quietly, the doorbell rang. Danielle went to open it. I heard her voice, surprised, annoyed. Then I heard his voice, a voice I hadn't heard in 30 years. Grace? I froze. There, standing in the doorway, was Edward Bennett, my childhood friend, and my first love, the one I had left behind to build a family. He looked older, yes, but strong, calm, and his eyes still held that softness I remembered. Danielle scowled. Do we know you?" He stepped past her, walked straight to me, and knelt beside my chair. "I've been looking for you for months," he said softly. "You never answered the letters." "Letters?" Danielle suddenly grew stiff. My heart dropped. You intercepted my mail?" I whispered to her. She looked away. "I live here, Mom. I don't have time to check your mailbox every day." But her voice wavered. Edward reached into his coat and pulled out a stack of letters, unopened, worn, some torn at the edges, all addressed to me. I stared at Danielle, but she didn't meet my eyes. 7. The conversation that exposed everything. We stepped outside for fresh air. My hands trembled as I held the letters. Why were you looking for me?" I asked. "Grace," he said, voice shaking. "I lost my wife 3 years ago. I couldn't cope. But when I remembered you, something inside me healed. My breath caught. I wanted to reconnect, to see if you were okay. And today, I felt something telling me to try your daughter's home." Inside the house, Danielle glared at us through the window. Edward saw it. "You don't deserve this," he whispered. 8. Confrontation at the door. Before I could reply, Danielle stormed outside. "Mom, can you stop embarrassing us? We're in the middle of breakfast." Edward stood up slowly. "Embarrassing?" he said calmly. "Do you think humiliating your mother on Mother's Day makes you look good?" Danielle's face flushed red. "Stay out of this. You're nothing to us." Her voice echoed. Neighbors peeked through windows. Birds scattered from the fence. Edward didn't flinch. "I'm something to her, and she matters more than you realize." Danielle scoffed. "She's old. She needs us. She should be grateful we let her come." Edward laughed under his breath. "No, you need her. But by the time you realize that, she'll be gone." I looked at Danielle, at my grandkids watching from the door, at the house where I had tried for years to build a family bond. My chest tightened, but not with pain, with clarity. "Danielle," I said softly, "I'm leaving." She blinked. "What? No, you can't just—" "Yes," I said firmly, "I can. For once, I choose myself." 10. A new beginning. Edward helped me into his car. As we drove away, my hands shook. Fear, hope, grief, freedom, all tangled together. "Where are we going?" I finally asked. "Wherever you want. But first, breakfast. Something warm, something kind." I laughed through tears. Warm and kind. Two things I hadn't felt in years.
11. The letter I sent later. That evening, from Edward's home by the river, I wrote a letter to Danielle. Not angry, not cruel, just honest. You may not understand now, but motherhood doesn't mean suffering silently. I raised you with love. I hope one day you remember that. Until then, I choose peace. I didn't sign Mom. I signed simply Grace. Because for the first time in decades, I felt like a person again, not a burden, not a joke, not an obligation. Just Grace. And that was enough.